In the last episode of Paper Hats, our travels took us to the nether dimension where we put together a mob switch. We all decided to put a mob switch in the nether because we have a lot of building ahead of us. For the last few months, we've been planning a mega nether hub, which means we're going to have to do a lot of building. If we cannot deal with mobs, that's going to save us a ton of time. However, in this episode, we are going to be focusing on my base. That's right, we haven't worked on our base in a few episodes. But before I get too far into it, I'm Dr. Jankovic. Welcome into Paper Hats Season 4. Welcome to the wonderful world of Everbloom. I am looking down into the market district here, and you can see there's a lot not finished. If you're a longtime viewer of this series, you'll recognize this district. The first building we did is right behind me here. And in case you're a new viewer, let me explain what this district is. You see, most of the time, Minecrafters have a central storage. Whether it's auto-sorted or not, it's usually a central storage for all items in the game. I wanted to do a little bit different this season. So we put together this market district, and I am slowly putting together themed shops where we can sort out our items this way. It's a little bit more creative, and it's challenging me to put together interiors. And we've been so distracted elsewhere in the server, I have neglected to get any real progress done with this district. We really should be doing another district by now, but it's all okay. There's plenty of time left in this season. I don't know if I will finish this district today. It might be unlikely, but I want to get as much progress done as I can, and I want to start getting the quartz put all around the walls, not just on the inner circle. But we do have a few bottlenecks, the biggest one being quartz. And I think the other bottleneck is tough, so we're gonna have to do a little bit of mining to start this episode out. So let me head to the nether. We will do a 1-hour mining session. We'll see how much quartz we get. So I started out with an hour of mining in the nether, just down at Y15. I was only able to get a few stacks of blocks with this though, so I took the liberty of going over to Tax Villager area and doing a few hours of trading with these guys. Now, villagers are quite a bit faster than actually mining for quartz, but I love mining, so I do it sometimes. And with all that, we were able to get quite a bit of quartz. So we've got some miscellaneous stacks here, but we have almost 2 boxes of smooth quartz ready to place down. And that's not all. I've done a little bit of prep work to make this a little bit easier to record. If we come over to the market district once again, you'll see around the edges, I have marked out where the pillars are going to go with green wool. I think I have these spaced out pretty evenly. If it needs to change a little bit, we can do that as we're building. But for now, let's place down some quartz. We'll get these pillars set up. This project wasn't near as bad as I thought it would be. Measuring things out in Minecraft always kind of stresses me out because, especially with working with diagonals, it can look very imperfect sometimes. Throughout this whole experience, I've learned so much about diagonals, it was actually a piece of cake. Measuring everything out with wool in the first place was a very good idea. And as you can see, I've got all the pillars all around, and it brightens the place up so much. I think the next thing I'm going to do is finish these roofs over here just so we can see how all the buildings are going to look together. We're going to need a lot of chiseled bookshelves, copper, and all that stuff, so let's get to work. That didn't go exactly as planned, but we got them done. We have all the roofs done now, and it looks amazing over here. Now, the problem I had is I apparently mismeasured. a couple of these wings here, so I did have to move some walls around. But with what I learned with the first two buildings, it was a much easier process than those two. So long story short, we won't have to do roofs for a hot minute. With that being said, we do still have 5 complete districts, minus 1 because there's a bit of a different build going in one of them, but I'm super happy with how this turned out. As you can see, the buildings are very plain. We've got to put the quartz pillars on them. We've got to texture the walls a little bit, so we have a little bit more work to do. But for a moment, I want to switch gears, and I've been looking at these walls here, and they're just a bit flat. So I think I want to try some different things. Instead of full blocks, try some of the wall blocks and see if we can give it a little bit more definition. And while we're at that, we might as well go ahead and put the pillars on the buildings too. So let's get another time lapse rolling. Time for an update. Now, as you'll see, I have placed down all the pillars here. We're done with that part. And if you'll notice, we made these walls look a lot better than they used to. I did this by placing down stone brick walls in between instead of full blocks, so it's not so flush. And I went a step further and placed some full blocks behind the walls so they connect, and you get that extra pixel of definition there. Now, at some point, we are going to have to think of some decorations to make these quartz pillars pop above the wall a little bit, but currently I'm not really sure how to do that. So if you have some ideas down in the comment, please do leave them down below. I will probably get those done all in one go once we have a few of the districts put together, so that will happen at a later time. But we are still not done. I would say we're about halfway through. We do have to make the walls look a little bit more textured, so we're going to add some calcite, some polished diorite, and some tuff all along these 3 buildings here, and it's going to look amazing. And while I do some of this detailing here, I did want to mention something. I know that I've been a little bit less consistent lately with my videos, and that's because of the holidays, of course, and I was sick for about 3 weeks in between that, so that did take a lot of energy from me, if you will. But my goal is to get back onto the 1 video a week schedule if I can, and not to mention we've been having a ton of fun over at twitch.tv/Dr. Jankovic. We've been working on my solo world a ton, and we've got a new game over there where you can claim a giant shulker in my solo world, Rosethorn. It's really fun, and people have been loving it. The only reason I say this is I don't want anybody to think I'm burnt out or not passionate about this. I am still having a ton of fun with this project. I've learned so much, and I'm very grateful for that. One thing I've always thought I struggled with was attention to detail. I see other people's builds, and they put so much time into picking all the different blocks, and I've never been too patient about that. But these days, I'm trying to take the time to really work with colors, see what goes well with each other, and really make everything something to look at. And not to mention, every time I build something, I feel like I get a little bit quicker at it. I learn little patterns and tricks along the way that makes my next build even quicker, which is why I've been able to get so much progress done in each video here. We've got the Nether Hub builds coming up. I've got to build 5 other districts here, which I'm totally excited for. One of which will be sort of a mini game or community event place. I'm really excited for that. So we've got a lot of projects on the way. I'm going to try to get back on that weekly schedule, of course, and I'm looking forward to it. So let me finish up this detailing here, We'll see what else we need to do, and hopefully we can mostly wrap up this project today. It's been a couple days since that last clip, and I've been able to do so much here. The first thing you'll notice is all the buildings are all textured. We've got some lanterns hanging up, and it looks very, very nice. Another thing you may notice, there are no doorways just yet. That's because I'm not sure what shops need to go where, how big they need to be. So I just made everything a generic design, and we'll add all that stuff later. I even textured the courtyards in front of the buildings here and replaced some of the stone brick slabs with dark oak trap doors. That way we can hide some lights underneath these to get rid of some of these torches. And that's probably what you'll notice first, is there is a ton of torch spam here. And I've got a plan for that. Like I said, we will be hiding some light sources under these trap doors, but furthermore, I have found a really nice design for lampposts. But like usual, my inventory is a disaster, so let me go fix that real quick. That's better. I've got everything I need plus 16 obsidian because I managed to turn 2 ender chests in a row into obsidian. But I think we'll start with the light post right here. This looks like a pretty good spot on the edge of the path. We'll go ahead and lay down our lodestone. That's right, we're going expensive because nice things are expensive, and Tack gave me this great idea for lampposts. And then you have a polished deep slate wall. On top of that, you have an end rod. On top of that, you need a hopper, then a redstone lamp, 4 item frames on each side, some polished deep slate in the item frames, rotated 1 time, and then we need to turn these invisible. A daylight sensor on top of this set to night mode, 4 more item frames, and then a polished deep slate wall in each of the item frames. Turn those invisible, and there we go, pretty fancy light post. I played around with some of the blocks, and I really like how the invisible item frames makes it look. Gives it a little bit more detail, and I realize there's probably a better way to put together a lamppost such as this, so if you have any ideas, please do leave them down in the comments. But I would like to keep the design on the lodestone here. I love that block. But this isn't the only one we're going to be putting in. I think I'm going to tear down all these torches, see where I need some spawn proofing, and then spread these out accordingly. I think it'll look good, but let's see. And before I show off these extremely fancy lampposts, I'll just say I had a little bit of trouble sticking to the original plan. When I started putting these together, obviously I kept to the polished deep slate walls at the top, and when I started doing that, I noticed that it blended into the gray a lot, and I didn't like that very much. So I went into creative mode, played with a few blocks, and I came up with brewing stands. It makes a really nice design at the top of the daylight sensors with the invisible item frames. And furthermore, I gave the hopper a little bit more to look at with some golden swords. I'm still a little bit torn whether or not I should have used the bright iron swords, but when I look at the white gold tower and listen to the name of it, the golden swords go well with it. And with all the lampposts being built up, I can officially say we're done with the market district. As far as the buildings go, we have a lot more interiors to design, and I would love to see a lot of greenery being put here. But I'm not the best person to put greenery around here. You'll see in a future episode who I get to do that. I'm sure you can take a good guess at that. But for now, the plan is to jump into creative mode soon and get one of these other districts going. I'm not sure which one I'll do, but I will warn you, I did get a little ahead of myself on these quartz baths. One of these districts are going to have some major renovations done. I wish I hadn't placed down all this quartz already because I know I'm going to lose a lot when I dig it back up, but that's part of the fun, I suppose. And if you would, let me know what you think of the market district as a whole down in the comments, and I'm still looking for ideas for shops to put in. I'll be building these interiors on stream soon, so let me know what you think I should put in. I've got a nether shop planned, and I believe a terracotta shop planned, but so far that's all I've got. And on a separate note, Victor Nord has built us something over at the Christmas district. I know it's a little bit late for that, but you'll see very soon whatever he built, he didn't want us to open it before January 1st anyways. So I would say the timing's good. Also, I'm not sure how much I showed off of the Christmas district, but look at this place. Everybody built something over here. It looks so amazing. There's a snowman, elf, some gifts, Santa with the sleigh. I think I showed most of this, but there are probably some new things. And this giant gift box here. This is Victor's creation here from Vic to all the Paper Hats crew. And there was a sign that said open January 1st only. I would say it's time to open it. I've been so excited. I really needed to get the market district built up before I did this, so I was really excited building the market district because I knew I would finally know all the secrets. So without further ado, let's see what's inside. Welcoming ribbon to Paper Hats. Thank you for the wonderful gift, Vic. I hope people are leaving signs. All right, just looks like we have some gifts here. Dr. J, here it is. Here's my gift. Oh, wow. So he knew I needed copper. He knew I needed quartz. And he gave me some amethyst clusters because you can't have too many of those. Thank you very much for the gift, Vic. I really appreciate it. All right, let's take our box and let's leave a nice message. Well, that was really, really cool. I just put together some boxes from everything everybody else has gathered and put them under the tree. But it seems he put some thought into it and gave everyone a personalized gift. I've got to respect that. Again, Vic, thank you so much for the gift. And unfortunately, that is all the time I'm going to have left for this episode. Guys, thanks so much for being here. If you've made it this far, we've done a ton of building, and I'm looking forward to a ton more building in future episodes. Not sure what the next episode's going to be about, but I can tell you it's going to be awesome. Please do like and subscribe if you like what you see and want to get notified about future episodes. And guys, I will see you next time for episode 20. Maybe we'll do something special. See you next time. Thanks so much.